You're welcome to Bonds here on AGTV. You are so much welcome to another exciting episode right here. This is the Family Life Show where we explore the heart of family life. Today, we are talking about something every home needs more of: building bridges and not walls. In a world where we are all being pulled in different directions, how do we stay connected as a family? Let's dive in, shall we? Stay connected. Send us your comments, send us your experiences, share with us your questions as well at MyAGTV, and share the link with other people so they can also join in the conversation. My name is Mauto Sade. This is Bonds. You don't want to go anywhere. Before we leave for the short break, however, we want to take our scripture for today. Today's scripture is from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2 to 3, and it says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep of the Spirit through the bond of peace." Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Hey there! You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show. Woo! A family that sticks together will always be stronger through the stormy weather. I have you and you have me, and that's what makes us family. It's the Family Life Show. 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 You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
You're welcome back from that short break. Once again, my name is Mauto Sade, and this is Bonds, the Family Life Show here on AGTV. Join Club 1000 Plus today. AGTV Club 1000 Plus is a fundraising initiative by the Assemblies of God Ghana Television to secure monthly donations from 1,000 plus individuals, churches and organizations. And you do want to be a part of that 1,000 plus individuals. How do you donate, however? Contribute 100 cedis monthly or more than that, any amount that God lays on your heart via AGTV mobile money number, which is on your screen. You can also contact us on the information on your screen. Your support keeps the gospel shining in every home. I would want to use the opportunity to thank our sponsors. We are sponsored by Delta Unique Limited, and we want to say that they are the office stationery and equipment to computers, networking and software support. They provide innovative, reliable and tailored solutions for businesses across Ghana. Delta Unique Limited, their number is on the screen. Contact them. They are located at Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, Shai Hill Street, Adabraka. I also want to say a big thank you to you for joining us today. Now, I have in the studio with me another very, very outspoken pastor. She is a woman of God, and I want to say thank you and welcome to the show today, Pastor Mrs. Opoku Darling.
Thank you.
Now, I'm not saying darling because she's my darling. She's just called Darling. And I find that's very interesting. And I just love your name. Every time we say darling, you are a darling.
Ah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show today. Now, Pastor Mrs. Opoku Darling is a pastor, as your name suggests. She's a counselor, a professional travel consultant. So anything to do with your traveling, you said I shouldn't travel anywhere.
No.
But our viewers can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you want to travel, you just have to call AGTV. We'll link you to her and you can get in contact with her for your travel issues. Thank you once again for joining us today. Now, today we want to talk about something that I know a lot of people think about in hindsight, or when they're alone, like, I haven't heard from this person in a long time. Why doesn't he call anymore? Why doesn't she call anymore? He used to be so close and all of that. So we want to build bridges and not walls in today's world. And we are reconnecting hearts in today's modern family. But let's start with the most basic question. When we talk about building bridges and not walls, what are we even talking about?
When we look at today's world, a lot of things seems to create or prevent us to have some openness, understanding, and that relationship that is needed among ourselves, especially families.
Okay.
And some of the things that causes these walls is the social media. When we talk about WhatsApp, we know that everybody is on board. Even our old men and women are getting Android phones just to be on WhatsApp.
So the things that we could have used to build bridges actually are the things that are creating the walls to start with. And let me just share a personal experience. I remember a very close friend of mine who was very upset with another friend because that friend had not reached out in ages. And when she called and was complaining, "You haven't called me forever," I said, but I watch your status. I know you are fine.
Interestingly.
And she was so upset. Said, "My status, really? Is that how to know I'm fine?" But this is absolutely true. Now, you've mentioned one of the things that was on my mind when we talk about walls, social media. But apart from that, what are some of the other walls that families build without even knowing that they're building them?
Lack of communication. Sometimes people just love being in their space. Myself personally, sometimes it's not that somebody has done anything to me. I just want that solemnness. I just want to be me. And probably a friend or a sibling might take that in a negative aspect, not understanding me in those times and seasons. So because there was no communication at that point in time, a certain kind of wall is built. Yes. And rather than probably asking or seeking clarity, people assume, thinking, "Oh, she just doesn't want to talk to me." But that might not be the case.
Right.
So probably sometimes we don't have to assume. We have to seek clarity. "Oh, how come it's been a while I've not heard from you? How come at this point in time you didn't reach out as you normally do?" I think that is something that would help even the one, or like I was using myself as an example, at certain times I just want to be alone, be myself. If you come out, I would go ahead to explain to you. But if you don't ask, then we'll both be there.
And then the wall becomes taller and taller.
Exactly.
Sometimes you want to call somebody, if you forgot, right, it becomes harder to even call eventually.
Exactly.
Even when you want to.
When you want to. Because if probably a certain incident has made you know that if I should call, there's going to be a blasting, then I'm not going to call. After all, if I don't call,
nothing will happen.
Nothing will
then
happen.
The silence becomes prolonged.
Then we'll be building that wall, which does not help at all.
Most often than not, without even knowing we are building them. Now, you've mentioned two things, the lack of communication and social media. I was just thinking while you were speaking that sometimes even our lives, as it has become now, okay, we are always on the run. We are waking up at dawn and we're moving to work. You have people in mind that you want to connect with, but you can't seem to find the space and the time to fit them in. In your own life as a pastor, and I'm guessing as a counselor and a worker, are there personal experiences like that?
A lot. And I didn't even know that personally I'll get to this point, because I'm the open type. I love checking on people. I always want you to know that I'm thinking about you. I care that much. But over the time, looking at the busy schedules, having to do this, having to do that, building prayer times, counseling, and work as well, I know that oftentimes I used to check up on my husband from time to time in between during the day, but along the line, it seems that is drifting, because I can't even have that time to ask, how is it going? Have you eaten the normal? Have you eaten? Now it's no more coming.
We used to do, have you eaten? If the answer is yes, what did you eat? Kenke? Is it ga kenke or fancy kenke? We do all of that.
Did you enjoy it?
You know.
Or did you leave some for me? But now you don't even have the time to ask.
Wow.
And it is really creating a problem. It's causing some form of distance because you are more into what you are doing now. And he goes like, hey, is that really you? I said, myself, I'm surprised, but we will reconnect. We will get back to it. And coming through the show is actually drumming home that I need to pick back. It doesn't matter how busy I am. If probably over the time it took minutes or hours to be doing that, I can do that in a space of a second to actually show that I still care.
I think it starts from you identifying that there's a problem to
Good.
start with, and then figuring out what the problem really is and how you can go around it.
Exactly.
That acceptance is the beginning of working on your problems as well. So you've mentioned a few things. Now, I am thinking, right, you're a worker, you're a mother or a husband who is a father and a worker. Social media is pulling you. You know, at the beginning I said, in today's world, we're being pulled in every direction.
Every angle.
Somehow, everything pulls us away from the people that we love and care for the most. All right, so work is pulling you, children are pulling you, social media is pulling you, technology generally.
Pulling. That one is taking much of the time.
I don't even know what to say about it. Okay, I've realized that personally, there are a lot of people you can flow with easily on social media, but when you meet them in person, there is no real connection. We haven't learned the skill to connect with people. Now here comes the big question. Building walls, how does it bring division in the home, in the family?
Okay, so along the line, when these walls get built, intentionally or unintentionally, you realize that the love that was shared in the family is being drifted away.
Okay.
So there is that isolation. Now we don't get to communicate as we used to. People begin to feel unwanted.
Right. As if I'm not needed at all.
Needed. And when it happens like that, then we should know that the family is crumbling. So we have to reorder our steps. Even with WhatsApp, you realize initially you would have to be writing statements to express yourself. It got a point in time, somebody would say no long talk. The word itself has been shortened. How are you? I'm good. The good is no more spelled G-O-O-D. It's G-U-D. And the sad thing that is going on now, seriously, now we have the emojis. We no longer talk.
They say everything.
How are you? Then you send an emoji. I mean, where are we getting to?
How does that really explain how you truly feel?
So you should understand it anyhow. You like it. Rather than me having to write how I am feeling, I will send an emoji to explain that for me. And I think gradually it's fighting against us. So these things, when it comes up, like I said, it makes one feel unwanted. Now it becomes a pattern. And generationally, it will be passed on. So initially, we had the extended family. Now it's nuclear. Now it's even becoming nuclear. I, myself, and me. And
we've become very individualistic. Yeah.
It's very terrible.
Yeah.
So there will be no love. People will feel unwanted, and along the line, we realize that there is no family at all. And that's the reason why we have to reorder our steps, retrace back, sit down, and try to build things and introduce activities that would help us build the bridge that we want to see. So now, if we want to work on that, we don't have to be present with our appearances. We should have meaningful communication. It should start from somewhere. Open communication. That will be engaging. That will be involving. So that unwantedness will wipe
taken
away.
off. So from what you've said so far, there is one thing I am getting out of it. Let's call it a revelation, if you may, that we've chosen the easier way for everything.
Yeah.
Forgetting that human life in itself is very complex, and we've decided to make it very easy. So instead of a call, which you might or might not pick, and I don't want to be disappointed, I send a message, right? So I don't hear your voice. And I'm going to share something personal. I remember my mom, every time you called, from your voice, she could tell if you're okay. So if you said, I'm fine, she would say, no, you don't sound fine. But if that was a message, you wouldn't know that.
That feeling would not be there.
Would not be there. And you're saying the messages are even so shortened now. So we are saying WTG for we thank God. And for us, it's easier. It's simpler. But human life is meant to be more complex and more relational. Yeah, you said interactional, than we have made it now. As parents of today's digital children, children who know more about technology and AI and computers and devices than their parents themselves, how do the parents reconnect with such children?
Okay, so with such children, I think some measures needs to be put in place.
Right.
When it's time to have is it conversation or family time together, we are all going to put our phones down. And we have to respect that. Like I said, you can be present and your presence will not be felt.
It's not meaningful.
It's not meaningful. So you would have to engage the children in conversations, asking how they are and mean it. Like you said, when you told mommy, I'm fine, she knew you're not fine. So when you're asking, oh, how was your day? How did it go? How you put it across makes it meaningful, makes it felt, emotional. But if you speak and even your utterances as needing answers abruptly, you are not doing any good job.
As if you don't even have time to listen to the answer to the question you even asked yourself.
So that brings me to, we should make time to listen.
Right.
We don't have time to listen. We always want to be heard, but we don't want to listen. Sometimes, even in silence, we can all be here and you can hear the pain the other is feeling. That is because of what we have built over time, the bond.
Okay.
So we know it when you are not all right. So as we start doing these things gradually, I think we would be letting go of these walls. Now, we can make good use of the social media by checking up on each other.
Once you realize that maybe the things I post on my status make meaning to somebody, or if you think it will make meaning to you, prompt the other person that it would be lovely if I was on your status too, or I'm always looking at your status, you know. And once the person realizes it, then you can reach out to the person through that medium and don't just do it as a thing or as a normal thing, but as a means of communicating to other people. So you said open the channel for communication, make the communication meaningful. You said something about the gadgets, put it down.
Yeah.
What about not giving it to the children at all? Is that an option in your book?
Okay, so personally, I think that there should be a certain age that children are supposed to access gadgets.
Okay.
That notwithstanding, looking at our schedules, we spoke about busy schedules as a pastor, myself and my husband also being a pastor, we often go out together. They would need to access their phone in order to reach out to us.
Right.
So with this, we make them know when it is essential to have access to those gadgets. So like I said, everything that we are doing, we should make time and teach. That's one thing that we also fail to do. The last time I was reading Deuteronomy 6:6, where we were being asked to extend or pass on the commandments of God's children. And as I read, I realized that he said that talk about them, teach them. So it's one thing to talk about something, it's another thing to teach
it, yeah.
So when we do these things, even during the teaching, you get to know much more about the child or the family's expectations, weaknesses, and you know how to fit in.
So that brings us into family traditions. So
Okay.
hold on with that thought. We'll come back after the break. If you've just joined us, this is Bonds on AGTV. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
It's the Family Life Show. You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
For every moment you need to be inspired.
You cannot be prayerfully alive, and Satan will get you easy.
Vision without action is an omission.
Raise your head high, for AGTV is here.
It's the Family Life Show. This is Bonds, the Family Life Show.
You're welcome back from that break. If you have just joined us, this is Bonds, the Family Life Show on AGTV. My name is Mauto Sade, and I have in the studio with me Pastor Mrs. Opoku Darling. And we are talking about building bridges and not walls as families. Before we went on the break, we were talking about how do we do that? How do we reconnect with especially the children of today's age who are taken over by the use of social media and devices. Now, you were saying that put down the gadgets at certain times, and you started to talk about family traditions, yes. But before we go into that, I want us to go back a little bit, right? Before we talk about building bridges, it means there was a break somewhat, right? And so I'm thinking one of the major things that may cause relationships in families to be strained is offenses. And lack of forgiveness, lack of trust, lack of enough love and care to say either I'm sorry or I have forgiven you. So let's talk a little bit about that. The role that forgiveness plays in our quest to build bridges and tear down the walls.
Forgiveness plays a key role because if someone feels offended and you are aware of it, I believe that you should be in a position to make sure that the person feels better. A lot of times, you be the one that has been offended. So you go like, why should I be the one to let go or forgive? But Bible says that as far as it depends on you,
live at peace with all people. Live at peace with all people.
It doesn't depend on other people. It depends on us. So, I'll also mention when Jesus spoke about forgiveness, somebody asked, how many times?
That's a hard one.
We don't want to hear that.
That's a hard one.
70 times 7.
That's a hard one.
Even the 7 cry.
It's not easy.
Then 70 multiplied by 8. But it tells you how forgiveness is so important.
Right.
For the individual involved. Because the moment you forgive, well, it doesn't mean that it will take the pain away, it will take the hurt away, but it means that you are ready to forge ahead. Because if you don't forgive, you seem to be carrying a certain kind of burden and load, especially when you meet the person. And in our situation, we are talking about family. Imagine I've been offended by my husband, by my child, by my brother, sister, whom I get to meet a lot of time.
Daily sometimes.
And I'm not ready to forgive. Then it means that myself, I'll not be at peace. Because it's either I'll be scheming or planning or thinking of how to react when I meet the person. And it goes a long way to affect myself. We've spoken about how busy we are, the things that we are doing daily, and as a pastor, and I can't forgive, then it means that rather than making time to go into scriptures and know what to share, rather than making time to go into prayer, I'll be sitting down and planning how I'm going to deal with a certain individual because of unforgiveness. You know how it is when you are not forgiven. You are always scheming on how to attack the other person. So I believe that when we forgive, it makes room for us to feel light. When we forgive, it helps us to forge ahead, press further. It helps us to create certain atmospheres and environments that is healthy for ourselves.
For our own good. I think that's the point that needs being hammered more and more. That the thought of forgiving other people, it's not really to benefit the other person.
No.
It's more to benefit you, the one who was offended, to start with. I tell people all the time, learn to make excuses for other people. So you're walking by, you greet somebody, say, I see you, for example, oh, Pastor Darlene, good morning, and you don't respond. I learned to make excuses for you. Maybe she didn't hear me. Maybe she has a lot on her mind. Maybe she's preparing for a sermon and she's so busy and so she can't hear me. Maybe she even has an ear defect. You know. And so when you make excuses for people, it becomes a lot easier for you to forgive and to move on with your life. Because, like you said, you carry a burden with you when you carry unforgiveness in your heart. You're constantly heavy thinking, and the person is working about just fine.
Really?
Sometimes they don't even know they've offended you, and you are the one in trouble.
This reminds me when you spoke about the defects.
Yeah.
I had this member who I felt was behaving funny towards me. And sadly, I realized later that she had a defect, a hearing defect.
Wow.
I didn't know.
Wow.
And I was just so angry with myself. How come when I speak with her, she doesn't respond? She's rude, she's this, she's that. And she was playing a major role in the church. So one time, I think there was a conversation ongoing and her name popped up between myself and my husband. And that was when I said, oh, I don't understand why when I speak with this woman, she doesn't mind me. And he asked me, like, how did I go about it? So it happened that where I was standing, that was where she had
The defect.
So when I said, oh, so you didn't know? I said, Mommy, how would I know? So that's where he came out to say that she has a problem with that particular ear. So unless maybe you are standing in front of her when you speak,
That is why.
and I've been raging and I've been worrying myself.
Yeah.
So like you rightly said, make excuses for people.
Yeah.
And better still, don't assume.
That's the thing. You said it earlier. I think it's a good point. Don't assume for other people.
No, seek clarity. So ideally, I could have gone to her, oh, the last time I was greeting you, I didn't hear you respond. What happened? Oh, I didn't hear. It ends
And
there.
that would have been it.
And take it. When
Yeah.
you speak with people and they tell you something, don't sit down and say that, no,
Oh, boy.
the person is telling lies.
Boah.
The way you said that thing. We should know that forgiveness is key. That is why even God will tell us that when you bring a sacrifice and you know you are holding something against someone, go
and reconcile with the
before.
person. Yeah. Because even God realizes and acknowledges that it is best to be at peace with everybody in your circle. So let's forgive. Let go of offenses. That's important. But how do we handle family members who are not open to reconciliation. So here you are. Sometimes you are even the offended party, and you're willing
out.
and you're willing to reach out, you're willing to let go and reconcile with the other person, but the person is not willing to reconcile. What do you do in that situation?
So in this instance, you need to give the person time.
Okay.
First of all, you reach out to the person, and you just have to make sure that as we do so, we don't go with a blame game.
Right.
You have to use more of the I feel we are drifting apart. I feel this that happened
Would have been done better.
this way, or I had a role to play in it and I want to ask for forgiveness. So let's go. Maybe the person is not ready to let go, like I said. Then you make time, you give the person time. From time to time, check up on the person. Do everything possible to reach out. If you extend all those pleasantries and you see that it's not working, maybe for your own sanity, you just give the space that I spoke of. Because, you know, sometimes when you are doing something and you don't feel appreciated or acknowledged, you rather start feeling awkward.
Yeah.
And that also creates a different problem altogether.
Okay.
So to avoid that, you sometimes have to leave space, give room for the person
To heal.
Exactly.
Sometimes just to heal.
Notwithstanding, from time to time, you check up on the person. And then, like I said, make it an open conversation, something that the person can chip in. And be ready to also listen. This aspect, we fail to take keen notes about it. We always want to explain ourselves. And sometimes, even in doing that, we exaggerate. And we get to say things we are not even supposed to say. And we worsen the situation.
Yeah, I was going to say. And you make a bad situation even worse and you attempt to make it better.
So to avoid all those things, know that forgiveness, it's a gradual process.
Right.
It's not a one-time thing. So time, we say, is a healer. And along the line, I'm sure the person will come along. And don't leave it vague. Pray. Bear the person in prayer.
In prayer.
And I know that God will come through.
The most frustrating thing for a lot of people is, I don't understand you. You insulted me. I've even forgiven you. I'm calling you. And you, mom, you are angry at me. No, like really. How do I get around that? So I'm going to pass on a question to you.
Okay.
Somebody asked me. I don't think I gave an appropriate answer. So let me pass it on to you.
Okay.
Is it possible to forgive and love the person from a distance? So yes, you hurt me really badly. I forgive you, but we can't be friends again. Is that also a way of building a wall? Or is it safer to say, because I don't want to be hurt again, I love you from a far, you see how far my far is? A far distance, you know.
So you see, you brought in distance.
Yes.
And distance is building walls.
Oh my God. So we shouldn't love from a distance.
No.
Oh my God.
We can't do that. Like I said, forgiveness does not mean that it will bring reconciliation at once.
Immediately.
So you give it time.
But be open to it.
Yes, and be conscious and intentional. Because from what you said, I love you from afar. How do you love from afar?
From afar now.
How? It's not possible. I know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Because I also have feelings. I don't want to be hurt
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
And due to that, I'm putting in measures so that I'll not be hurt again.
Those measures are the walls.
Exactly.
Those measures are the walls.
They are the walls. And in order to overcome that, pray for yourself to heal out of it. You'll be healed. Know how to, like the steps, like build certain measures that will not cause you to be too far and too close.
Okay.
And that's where you keep or you bear such people in prayer. Because you can't say that you've forgiven the person, and that is it. So we are all living our lives. No.
But you see, Pastor, I'm going to say this, and this is a confession. It was just today I gave that advice to somebody. I said, Charlie, some conflicts are there when even when you have resolved it, you laugh carefully, because I think there should, honestly, I think you should speak to that. I think there should be a place of caution, right? That this has been so hurtful. I didn't expect it from you, and I'm being careful so you don't walk all over me again. Fairly, be fair. Shouldn't there be a place for that caution?
That caution has a way of building walls.
Wow.
So you are honest with the person, you are open with the person. This is what you did to hurt me. I have forgiven you. I am healing. I would have to be careful though, but for us to keep flowing, I believe you are not going to do the same thing again. Yes, you will hurt me in other ways, but not
in
that
the same way.
So when you're honest with your feelings, I believe the other party is supposed to take it. If they don't take it, well, they might hurt you. But I also believe that it's mature people that forgive. Right. So as you mature out of those things.
Okay.
Interestingly, as time goes on, things that used to hurt you
will not hurt anymore. Things you used to make a big deal of will not be a big deal anymore, I know.
So we have people that hurt us really bad. Like you said, they are all over, even in church. They are there.
I think that's even where they are the most.
It's worse. Imagine people you are praying, you are interceding for, and you think that there are people that are supposed to know better and do the right thing, and they keep hurting you. So as you mature, you come to realize that, oh, this is it. That's fine. Maybe I'll have to accept the person for who
they are,
and then
and move on with your life.
Know how to relate with them. That will not build a certain wall.
So here at this place, this particular time, I'm going to ask on my own behalf and the behalf of all those of you who are watching that we'll give it to Pastor Darling as a personal assignment to keep praying for us for the grace to not love from afar. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
It's nice and sweet.
It's the Family Life Show. You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
For every moment you need to be inspired.
You cannot be prayerfully alive, and Satan will get you easy.
Vision without action is an omission.
Raise your head high, for AGTV is here.
It's the Family Life Show. This is Bonds, the Family Life Show.
If you're still watching us here on Bonds, my name is Malto Sade. I have Pastor Mrs. Opoku Darling in the house. We've been talking about building bridges in families and not walls. We want to say a special thank you to a few people. First and most importantly, Bonds is brought to you by Delta Unique. From office stationery and equipment to computers, networking, and software support, we provide innovative, reliable, and tailored solutions for businesses across Ghana. Delta Unique Limited. Their mobile number is on the screen. Contact them. They are located at Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, Shai Hill Street at Dabraka. We also want to inform all of you to be partners in this enterprise. Join Club 1000 Plus today. AGTV Club 1000 Plus is a fundraising initiative by Assemblies of God Ghana Television to secure monthly donations from 1000 plus individuals, churches, and organizations. Now, if you want to donate, you can contribute 100 cedis or more monthly via AGTV mobile money number, which is also on your screen. You can also contact us on the information on your screen. Your support will surely keep the gospel shining in every home. Do well to be a part of that 1000 plus individuals supporting us. Now, we are celebrating mothers, and every woman across the globe. It is not an easy thing to be a woman. Now, on the behalf of the National Women's Ministry Director of the Assemblies of God, Ghana, we wish all mothers, all women, happy Mother's Day on my own behalf and on behalf of the entire team of Bonds here. We say you are amazing. You are superheroes, and we adore and honor you, especially today as we celebrate Mother's Day. Mommy, I want to say personally, happy Mother's Day to you for being an amazing mother, not just to your own children, but to everybody that you impact on a daily. And before we went on the break, we were going to start a conversation on traditions in the family that can help build the family connection, build the bridges. So everyday activities that families can engage in to help stay connected. Let's go a little into that.
So what we can do as a family to build these bridges, one thing can be our devotions.
Okay.
Either in the morning or in the evening, depending on how the time that will be made available for us, because the time should be something that will be to our benefit and advantage.
Right.
It shouldn't be on a run. I remember along the years, what we do with the children was we pray with them, then they go to school.
Okay.
But I wasn't feeling it because I grew up with my grandmother. So there was that family relationship, brothers here, cousins here. We'll be waking up at dawn. And that's the first thing we do. When you wake up, you go to brush up, then you come and sit at the dining table, then we'll have our devotion. So it came to mind and I said, why don't I bring this on board? And we started it. And I just love it. The feeling is so great because you get to hear everyone say something. You get to feel that bond and love before you step out. Rather than laying hands, you pray and that's it. But over here, we all sing together, we pray, we share the word of God. Even we go to the extent of letting the children come out with their memory verses. And I see that to be something that is bonding us.
Right.
So that is one thing we can put in place to build that bridge. Another thing is also making time to eat together. As for this one, it's my husband that brought it on, but sometimes you come to meet us around the earthenware and we are all eating together.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
But I didn't like that initially because, you know how our upbringing has a way of affecting our family life sometimes.
Yeah.
I want to have my own plate,
my own spoon, eating
and
my
I'll
own
be eating.
space.
So I was like, you dish my own for me. He said, what is that? Madam, sit down. So when you come to meet us all, the children see us all around the earthenware bowl and we are all eating together. They feel that sense of belongingness.
Right.
They feel that love. And I think these are things that we can start doing. We can make time to watch the television together. In fact, now I'm not a television type because I don't have the luxury of time. That notwithstanding, if even it is 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and you are all sitting together, you watch something funny, you make comments, and then you excuse yourself, I think it's something that we can hold on to that will help us build bridges and not walls. That aside, we can make time, create conversations in the course of the week. Maybe Sundays, Sundays we are home. The whole family is home. We can find out how our days went within the week. We share some of the problems we have, and all these things are beauties to hold on to. Something skipped me. I just remembered During devotions, for instance, I think 3 days ago, I asked my eldest daughter that, so what are some of the things we can do as a family to make the family loving? And she said quite a few.
Were you willing to listen?
I listened anyway.
Were you happy?
Not really, but I think
Because I know that feeling when mothers make a mistake and ask, what would you want us to do? We ask, but we are not ready for the
to work
answers.
on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So she kept talking, but it was funny because I think Daddy was not around that day. So most of the things that she said
Affected
was to
Daddy.
Daddy. And because she was speaking to me, she didn't say much about me. And I know that there are things there, but I'll
Right.
fish them out. So we should be intentional and ready to go all out.
I think that's the word. We should be ready.
We are not ready to sacrifice.
That's the word.
So if we want to build the family and build bridges, then we should be ready to sacrifice, go all out. And I think that if we do this, we ourselves will be satisfied and we will find that fulfillment wherever we find ourselves. Speaking about this now, it's brought some kind of joy and gladness. There are moments to hold on to. So in the course of the week, like I said, we can plan one of the evenings on a Saturday, on a Sunday. We sit down and we share what we went through during the week. We share certain stories. All these things are things that when we put in place will go a long way to help us.
There's this one thing you're saying over the course of our conversation that I'm loving a great deal. The idea of being intentional at staying connected as a family. And I just want to add a word or two. So take interest in everybody's life.
Sure.
So life can be so overwhelming sometimes that if you're not careful, you become very selfish. You're just thinking about yourself, your own problems, your own busy schedule, your own work, your own health, your own this. And you forget that the people around you have the same issues, sometimes even worse. Imagine if you were going to school, for example, let's say you're doing your master's and I'm here and in my mind, hey, so you won't tell me how you are doing. So you won't tell me the course. And in your mind, you guys, hey, so you won't ask about how I'm doing and when I went for lectures, what happened, or So talk about it.
Yeah.
I need to know you are interested in what I'm doing for me to willingly share with you what I'm doing. And I think that's one of the things that is lacking a lot these days. We are not connecting. And you said sacrifice. We are not sacrificing that little time, that little patience, that thing of putting my own problems on a hold for just a minute to hear somebody else's. And as a family, I think these are some of the things that we can do to be able to build the bridges that we've been talking about all this while. So I love the tradition of eating from one bowl.
We invite you one of these days.
You know, the picture in my mind is just lovely. It's just lovely. But you said you were uncomfortable at the beginning. And I think for almost all of us, we have to start from somewhere. And let's talk a little about generational gap. So talking about staying connected and all, the grandparents are there, the parents are there, the children are there. And even within the children, we have those going to the university, those in the SHS, those in the primary. If you have all of this in your family setup, how do we bridge the gap? Because if you're doing WhatsApp, grandma may not understand what you're talking about. If you're doing Edinburgh Bold, the toddlers and the SHS kids don't understand what you're talking about. How do we bridge the gap? Help us.
So with this, we have to come to a certain level of understanding.
Okay.
So we get to understand the ways of our grandparents. We get to understand our ways in our present times. We get to understand our children, the next generation. So we meet halfway. This is what I was looking for.
Right.
We meet each other halfway. We can't do it all.
Okay.
We can't let go of who we are now. And they also, our grandparents, they also can't let go, and the next generation can't. But we have to come to an understanding of what they stand for, how they understand issues, what inspires them, what makes them happy, and in a way adjust and do it for them.
That's sacrifice.
That is sacrifice.
Right. That's sacrifice.
So before you can also sacrifice, then you need to understand.
That's the seeking clarity, isn't it? So you said everything's was one somewhere.
And they are all fitting in.
Yeah, they are all fitting in.
We really need to do this so that we can carry everybody along. My grandma having to do these devotions, you know, that generation is more into closeness. If even there is an issue, they think, let me cook a meal and that's that.
It will sort it out, yeah.
But for us, I want you to ask me, how am I doing? But for her, oh, this is the food, eat, be okay. And that's it. So after eating
if you finish all the food, it means you are okay. If you left some behind, it means something is still wrong.
For you. So after that, you go on to tell them, oh, I'm expecting that you find out how my day is going.
Yeah.
And all. So giving them that cue or clue, the next time they would ask, then we would all be carrying ourselves along. So we should be open. We should talk about our expectations, what we want. And as we do that, we should be ready to also play along so that there will be no gap in between.
Right.
But we are all meeting each other halfway.
I love the idea of meeting halfway. Now let's bring it back to the couple for a minute. We are just about ending our conversation. I want us to be able to touch on everybody's issues as much as possible. So if couples, especially if trust is lost at one point or the other, you talked about openness and seeking clarity and all of that. But we need to be able to rebuild intimacy and trust when there is an emotional distance. How do couples do that in the home?
So we first need to acknowledge the fact that there is that loss of trust.
Right.
And speak about what caused. When we speak about it, then the both of us, I mean the couples, will look at things that we should do.
To be able to come back together.
It's not an individual affair. It has to be both of us. So to start building the trust, then we should have in mind or recollect fond memories, things that we used to do that made us bond.
Okay.
We should start doing those things again. Gradually. We shouldn't force it. You see, one thing about us human beings, the moment we think, okay, I know I did this wrong, I've accepted it, I want to work on it, we want it there and then.
Wow.
Back, back, back.
I said sorry already. Why are you still standing there? Move on.
But you should give time. Allow people to heal in their own way. Don't force it on people.
Okay.
And as you are doing that, like I said, memories that you know that built you together, you start doing those things. You should have little hugs here and there. Let the person know that you are there. You are reliable now.
Okay.
So that too, you have to be intentional
about it.
Because you are building trust. It was broken. We are now building it. So everything that we are going to do now is something that we have to do it consciously. Intentionally.
To bring back the trust.
So that when we gradually, as we do it, then we will see the trust also building over time. And we should desist from things that we know will
push us away even further. I love the other part. Be patient, trust the process. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
It's the Family Life Show. You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
For every moment you need to be inspired.
You cannot be prayerfully alive, and Satan will get you busy.
Vision without action is an omission.
Raise your head high, for Reggie TV is here.
It's the Family Live Show. This is Bonds, the Family Live Show.
Welcome back from that break. All too soon, our time is almost up to round up here on Bonds, the Family Live Show here on AGTV. I've been having this conversation with Pastor Mrs. Opoku Darling. I love it when I get to Darling. I'm sure there are a few people, especially those who joined us late, who are thinking, this woman is just being romantic. I'm not. It's her name. There is one thing I think we need to really talk about, the idea of creating a safe space for people to be honest with you, because you said to listen, you said to speak, you said to speak clarity. But if I don't feel safe being honest with you, I can never truly tell you how I'm feeling. How do we do that?
We are living in a time, like we said, social media is taking over. And you shared with me how ChatGPT is open. You can have an honest conversation and you are good to go. I believe that we should also do same. We should not be judgmental.
That's it.
When people open up to us, we should be ready to keep whatever that is shared with us, that are supposed to be with us.
Right. Right.
There should be no third party, so that people would feel safe when they are opening up to us.
Okay.
I also want us to create that environment where we don't use what people share with us against them. Imagine your daughter comes to you, opens up to you about something that might be her fear or weakness. You advised accordingly, you encouraged her, you even build her confidence. Here you are, the next moment she does something and you
are
use
reminding her. No wonder, since you are like this and you are like that and you are like that. Oh,
what do you expect?
Oh my God. They will never come again.
At all, at all. And we should also cultivate the habit of using healthy language. Whenever we speak, we should speak with decorum. Because somebody said that you'll be addressed by how you dress. So if you speak anyhow, if you are known for vulgar languages, you are not creating that ambience for you to be assessed. So if we want people to be open to us, we want to create that space, then we should be careful of the words that comes out of
our
us.
mouth. Yeah.
And I believe that would help people to come around us.
Create the ambience.
Yes.
Don't be judgmental.
No.
I think the lessons are clear. All of us who are listening, please don't be judgmental. And don't use what I tell you against me, because then you block the road and you build the wall that we are trying to tear down today. You crush people's spirits. Thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you. Please, I am sure there are so many people you want to wish Happy Mother's Day. I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that first before I take over from you.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I want to wish my own women ministry in House of Glory and Faith Family Chapel a very happy Mother's Day. I want to wish you to keep supporting the organization and the local church with all that you keep doing, for your hard work, your support, your love. I say God bless you so much on this day. I also want to wish hosts of gorgeous, godly wives, Hoggle for short, a beautiful Mother's Day. I also want to wish my mom, Madam Joyce Tando, a very happy Mother's Day, wherever you are. I want to appreciate you and tell you how grateful I am, and everything that you've done in my life, I do appreciate it. Thank you all and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much, Pastor Mrs. Opoku Darling. Happy Mother's Day to you as well. And to those of you who are watching us, before I end with my concluding remarks, I would want to say a happy Mother's Day on my own behalf and the behalf of the Bonds team, happy Mother's Day to all mothers, all women out there. I said earlier, it's not easy to be a woman. It's even harder to be a mother, and to be a good one at that. I would want to wish my mother-in-law, Miss Kate Aglan, a happy Mother's Day. She's the mother that I have after the passing of my own mom. Happy Mother's Day to you. You are a great woman. Happy Mother's Day to my sisters, Jennifer Isiako and Yvonne Damali. God bless you richly for the works that you do in the lives of your children and in the lives of other people. Every woman, happy Mother's Day. If I didn't mention your name, happy Mother's Day, we beg. Happy Mother's Day. We love you. We appreciate you. Even when we don't say it, we still do. And God richly bless you. Keep giving you the strength to do what you do. Now, as we wrap up today, remember, strong families aren't built by avoiding problems. You can't avoid them. It is by choosing love, understanding, and connection every single day. It's an intentional thing you do. So let's keep building bridges, not walls. And until next time, take care of each other and keep the heart of your home strong and healthy. My name is Mauto Sade. See you next time.